Okay. So I hope you all had a good 2-week break. I think it was 1 week break. So people who were able to catch up on the recordings, I hope you'll have caught up on the recordings. So how have you been in the last 1 week? Was it helpful? The break was helpful? You all can
Yes.
unmute yourself and talk.
Yeah, I could watch the 6th session and 7th session only half, but yes, it was very helpful, especially the chanting part. Yeah.
Yeah. It really helps. Chanting has really helped me a lot. And I have clearly noticed that um, when rather, it's not like, okay, I chant now and then some expected result shows up. It was not like that. It was more about chanting is helping me get that inner clarity. So, um, and that clarity is coming up based on the knowledge that has been acquired over through all of these things. It is not like so just imagine that whatever you're supposed to be expressing out at this moment, you will be able to do that in a better way, or you will be able to show up as whoever you are in a better way, rather than more a confused person, or anxious or fearful, being not in understanding of what's happening. So whatever is coming is anyway coming. But when it is coming, chanting helps you be more in that kind of awareness and in that accepting state. It's like you're calm. It's like you're peaceful because you know exactly what is happening in front of you. Although you are not, although you are not, um, it may be a challenging situation, it may be a painful situation, it can be any kind of situation, but you have an understanding of, okay, this is meant to be the way it is, even though I don't prefer it, or even though I prefer it. So let it go on. I'm just going to watch it. When things move, it will move. As long as it stays, let it stay. So that kind of mentality actually comes very clearly. And what I've also noticed is the environment around us, which means our family, there is a lot of changes that they also show, majorly because our vibrations are also improving. So there is a shift in their consciousness also. Actually, I want to explain that concept a little more clearly today. It is not about shift in their consciousness. It is only a shift in your consciousness, or the person who is in the question here, who's the subject here. When their consciousness improves, their reality also is showing that improvement. Right?
You.
Can you all go on mute, whoever is talking? Agilya?
You.
Yeah, I just muted you. Sorry. Okay, so that is what I wanted to explain very clearly today as to how this reality actually works. And when you say something is changing in front of me, oh, sorry, right? Prayer, I'll do that. When you say something is changing in front of me, what it actually means is what I want to share today. Okay, let's start with the prayer to the Supreme God, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones. We humbly invoke for your divine guidance, divine love, divine blessings, for illumination, for divine oneness, divine bliss, divine help, divine health, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. So be it. Okay. So see, when just imagine that God is the energy, right? God, we've already spoken so much about God. And God is everywhere. He has manifested himself into everything. Every possible thing, everything that you can ever think of with your limited mind has already been created. It is just that when you go to that created portion, or when you match that frequency, you will see that, or you will experience that. Okay, it is like everything is already there. When you are here, whatever is appropriate to this frequency, you will experience. If you are here, whatever is appropriate to this frequency, you will experience. If you are here, whatever you will experience here. So if you're here, so in every single point, there are so many things that are happening. For example, just hypothetically, here you may be talking to your teacher. Here you may be talking to your kids. Here you may be talking to your husband. So there may be lots of things. So here you, maybe when you are talking to your husband, you may not be in a very high vibration. So you're meeting him here. You're experiencing him here. Okay, it's slightly lower because let's say there is some drift going on between both of you. But let's say you're speaking to your friend here because you have a very close friend, and somehow your bond with her is very good. So you're meeting her here. You're experiencing her here. But maybe you're experiencing your kids here because there are some expectations from the children and they are not meeting. So every possible thing is a frequency. And who is experiencing those frequencies? You are experiencing. So let's say you are the hero of this entire game. So in this character called Smita, whatever possible things can happen, like n possible things can happen. Let's say today I'm anyway witnessing certain things happening in my life. But there could be other possibilities also, right? So today, I think Seema Sharma was talking about a situation. She had a question where she said, today we have understood acceptance and surrender and all of that, but in the past we did not know about it. So we have got a lot of experiences, or maybe we've done things where today I feel guilty. I'm not very happy about what I did in the past. So although I know that it has already happened and all of those things, how do I still not be in guilt? So what I'm trying to tell is, like that, Seema has, let's say, navigated herself from one scene to another scene, to another scene, to another scene, because everything is happening in one moment, right? In that one moment, let's say there is one scene that is happening. Okay, let's say in this moment, I'm talking to you. In the next moment, I'm talking something else to you only, right? I'm going scene by scene. I'm navigating from one scene to another scene, one moment to another same moment, another now moment. So different now moments are coming. So which means I am navigating from one now moment to another now moment, correct? So like that, we have traveled from different now moments. It is actually one single point only, but in that, I am actually jumping from one scene to another scene, which are spread across, let's say, in many different frequencies. So like that, many possible many possible experiences that Smita can experience has already been created by God. What I am doing, or let's say my subtle body is doing, it is just jumping from one body to another body. It is connected to Smita body only, but it is jumping from one body to another body very fast. Without we are not even able to actually comprehend that. Okay, it is that fast. They say, Bashar was also saying that we are traveling billions of I think billions of something per second or per millisecond or something like that, he says. So what it actually means is, I am jumping from one scene that is giving me, let's say, Smita talking to in this class. There is one more scene where Smita is not canceling the class. There is one more scene where maybe I have told that, oh, I'm starting the class late. Like that, there are different possible situations, right? So I am just jumping. So if my frequency is, or let's say my experience is supposed to be running this class or joining this class or whatever, based on the experience that my soul is bringing, my higher self is bringing, my subtle body will be connected to this class at this moment. So imagine there are different scenes like that. In that scene, there is Smita, the main character, who's a body. And when I'm connected to that body, let's say I'm the subtle body. When I say I, let's say I'm talking about my subtle body, which is jumping from one body to another body. Body is anyway decay and die. No, we are not talking about that. We are talking about the subtle body, which is carrying all these imprints from life after life. It is carrying from one body to another body. Even in that mini one now moment, it is changing. So let's say there is in that, what is inside the scene? Inside the scene, there is one character called Smita, which is a body. And in that, there are also other bodies that she's interacting with. Okay. And then in that same scene, when she connects to that body, she'll get access to, okay, she'll get access to Smita's memories, Smita's different, whatever is necessary for me to actually experience that scenario or experience that scene is already available in that scene. So like that, Narmada has so many scenes like this. Hema has so many scenes. Anju has so many scenes. All possible different scenes are there. So let's say in one scene, I have a son. In my real life, I don't have any son's experience. But let's say there is one scene where I have a son also. In some other scene, I have two daughters. In some other scene, I have only one daughter. In some other scene, so like this, there are different possible situations. So now what happens when I change my vibrations? Today, some experience is coming to me because I'm connected to a certain scene in that Smita's body. But now I do jap. Let's say I do chanting. Now what happens? Or let's say we do gratitude, we do something or the other. And then let's say I'm raising my vibrations while I'm present or while I'm connected to that body. In that scene, and let's say I'm chanting. I have picked a scene, or let's say the experience has come where I have been navigated to a scene where I'm chanting. Now, when I'm chanting, what happens? My vibrations are constantly raising. Now, that will actually shift me to a higher scene or another scene. There is nothing like higher scene, lower scene. It's just all experiences. There is nothing like this is a bit better experience than this is a lower experience than this. There's nothing like that. Okay, it's just an experience. So I'm just going to another frequency where in that frequency, there is a scene for, let's say, for example, my daughter was shouting at me in the past scene and I decided to chant. Just a hypothetical situation. Hey, Rohini, why are you constantly calling me? Is there anything that you'll want to tell me? I'm not sure. Rohini is trying to call me. Okay. If it comes once more, I'll pick it up. So in that scene, let's say I started to now chant because in my now moment, I made a decision that I will chant. No, in that minute second, in this second, I was shouting when my daughter was shouting at me. In the next now moment, I decided to chant, and then I have shifted to a scene where Smita is chanting. Okay, I'm just picking a body, where the body is chanting. Let's say, for example, the body's nature is to chant. In that scene, the character is chanting. So I'm actually entering that body, which is chanting. Now, when that chanting is happening, in the next now moment, the frequency is raising. And let's say that in the previous scene where that Smita was very disturbed and all of that, now Smita is not so disturbed. Did I change? No. It's just that subtle body went from Smita, who was actually disturbed, to Smita, who was not disturbed. You're getting the understanding here? Any doubts? Are you all having any doubts here? You can ask. This is very important for us to understand that we have to move. We have to move Please let me inside the Zoom. But there is nothing like, meeting is not locked. I don't know why she's not able to enter. How can I let her into Zoom now?
Ask her to log in again. Probably she's. Ask her to leave the group and log in again, Smita.
Yeah. Because meeting is not locked. And there is nothing I've done to stop people from entering this meeting. So I don't know whether she's actually trying. Use the link on the description. Group description. Okay. So any doubts here? If you are changing your vibration, you are actually entering or connecting to another body of the same character who is at a different frequency. There, her experiences are different from the same people. So you can't make anybody change in the same scene. But you have to, when that intention, the intention to raise your vibration or intention to come to that acceptance also is like raising your vibration. Surrender is also like raising your vibration. So when you do anything to raise your vibration, or when you come to that acceptance state, it is like actually giving you a permission to shift to another scene. But when we are in resistance, right? When we are in resistance, then we are sort of like a glue, we are stuck to the same scene or similar kind of frequencies and all of that. You understood what I'm saying? So if we have to experience something different, now let's say, for example, I'm experiencing a situation where I don't have a job. And we are in resistance because we are not accepting that whatever experiences has come to me or whatever I'm experiencing in this current moment, I don't have a job. We are not very accepting of that. Then what does it mean? It means that I am not still happy or I'm not satisfied with this experience. So I continue to want that. I want to continue that a little more. So I'm stuck in the same scene again and again, or similar, that same vibration of not having a job. Like that, not having a job itself, there are many, many scenes like that. So I'm connected to the same scene, which is going to give me similar experiences of not having a job. But when I say, oh yeah, I'm done. I've accepted that I don't have a job, and it must be here in my, I must have picked this experience for the right reasons. Because it's just an experience. It's not like it's bad or something like that. Okay. I must have experienced it for the right reasons. So maybe it is there in my life. So that when that acceptance comes, it is like you giving a tick mark to say, oh, I'm done with this kind of experience. Now you'll go to that experience, which is you having a job. You're getting what I'm saying? It is, every possible thing is already there. But to move from one point to another point, to move from one kind of experience to another kind of experience, you have to be okay. You have to accept whatever you have already picked. You are only picking. Your subtle body only is picking. And your higher self only is bringing those experiences, which means some scene will come in front of you, and then your subtle body will get connected to that character. And what will happen if you're connected, let's say, one point? We are all multidimensional. So we are actually, this subtle body only is connected to different things in multiple parallel universes and all of that like that. So we are operating at many different levels. But we are, let's say in this current moment, since I'm not having the awareness of me being multidimensional, I can only perceive this scene. But if I am if I've done a lot of sadhana, and if I'm able to perceive my multidimensional self, then in this point only, while connected to this scene only, I'll still be aware of where all my subtle body has got connected to. It is connected to many, many different scenes. Parallelly, it's going on. Understood what I'm saying? Which means past, present, future, everything is happening in one single moment, but I may not be aware. But some other Smita may be aware. You're getting my point. This particular character is not meant to be aware. Some other character, Smita, some other body, through which my subtle body is also connected to that Smita, there she's aware. But if that awareness has to be perceived, the subtle body will get connected there, which means from here, if I have to go there, then which means I have to do my sadhana. And then sometime that experience will also come. It is like this Smita is, she'll be dead once the subtle body drops. This body will drop anyway, no? Like that, it shifts from one body to another body. Like that, when that character only has to die, when that subtle body is done with that character, no, yeah, I'm done with Smita's character. I'm done with her body. I don't want her body. Now some other body I want, because all the scenes that I could possibly want to experience using her character and her scenes and all of that is like done. Now the soul will just drop the body, which means it will not pick it anymore. That doesn't mean that Smita died. It doesn't mean that Smita died. It means that just the body in some scene died. It is still there in some other scene. That body is still being used in some other scene. Am I confusing you? I don't know. Or should I maybe take it up later?
Yeah.
You all can unmute and talk.
Yes. थोड़ा सा
थोड़ा
confusing
सा
है.
OHT
Yeah.
है क्या?
Yes, because
Overhead
little
transmission.
bit confusing. You're telling once the subtle body is not there, once you're telling the subtle body is somewhere else, and it is connecting to everything.
What I can say is, imagine that you go to a mall. When you go to a mall, so many different mall, or you can go to a fun fair. What is it called? Exhibition or something like that, right? Where there are lots of rides, or Disney World. You have lots of rides. You have so many different uh, drama and other things that are playing. Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck dramas. So many things are actually there. And there is giant wheel. Then there is that rides. So many different rides and all are there. Now, you are going with your body and all that to that ride. Does that mean that other rides are not happening? Other rides are also happening, right? You are not aware what are the other rides that are constantly happening. When you are sitting in one ride, that ride only you can experience. Correct? You can't experience other rides. But there will come a point when you can experience all the rides together. But there is one such character also, because you are just shifting from one frequency to another frequency. It's like, let's say, how can I explain this? I have to think about different examples maybe. Now, okay. Now let's say Amitabh Bachchan, in reality, his name is Amitabh Bachchan. But he has played different characters in different movies. Correct? So when he is playing in movie number 1, he becomes that character. When he goes to movie number 2, he becomes that character. When he maybe in some movie he's a villain, in some movie he's a hero. But in everything he's Amitabh Bachchan only, right? It's Amitabh Bachchan only, he's playing every single character. And in most of things, his mannerisms are almost the same. He has a style. He has a way of speaking. He has one andaz, whatever they call it, that the way he comes into the thing. Unka style, their own style. It is the same in every single movie. So like that, that Amitabh Bachchan, that character of Amitabh Bachchan is actually you. It's that subtle body. But it can go from one scene to another scene, from one movie to another movie. In one movie, he's a villain. In one movie, he's a hero. So in your life also, like that, if you keep shifting between frequencies, okay, you are actually going to experience different realities. The realities are already there in the scene. You have to experience that only when you shift. If you're in step number 1, for example, you will get all the experiences that is going to come from step number 1. If you want to change that, you have to go to step number 2. In step number 2 also, same people will be there, same things will be there. But there the experience will be different. They did not change. You went from step 1 to step 2. Understood? Like this, you are actually going from one scene to another scene. When your reality is shifting, it is because you are changing. Your frequency is changing. There is maybe a deeper explanation I'll give maybe some other time, because I may not be I'm not able to explain what is in my head so easily. Maybe it is not meant for me to explain. That's why I'm not actually getting the right. The character in step 1 is same, Smita. There is, let's say, your family also in step 1. But what is family or what is everybody? POSC only, right? What is the role of POSC? POSC is only reflecting whatever you want. They are only triggering you. They are only showing your triggers, correct? There is no doubt there. So in step 1, whatever POSC brings to you is going to be very different from whatever in step 2 POSC brings to you. But in step 1, if you sit and say, I want whatever is in step 3, that will not work. For you to experience step 3, for example, let's say you are asking help from your children. In step 1, you are not at a level where they are going to help you because you still haven't earned that frequency yet. You haven't experienced that frequency yet. So here you'll tell them, please help me, or can you do this job or whatever. They will tell, sorry, ma, I'm busy, and they'll go off in step 1. But let's say when you have raised your frequency, you have done acceptance, you've done surrender, you've been practicing all of these things, chanting, all of that you've been practicing, and gradually your frequency is improving. You only will ascend in evolution to step number 3. In step number 3, when you say, can you please help me? They will say, yeah, sure, I will help you. Did they change? No, they didn't change. Those people in step 3, those characters in step 3 who are playing a supporting role, they are already helping people. They are already meant to help. But you had to go and experience the character in step 3, the main character. So in any condition, nobody in front of you will change. When you are in step number, any step, for you to move from one kind of experience to another kind of experience, what is very important? We have to, because every scene, why did I pick this scene? Why did I pick this particular experience? Why is this experience coming to me? The experience is coming to me so that it can show me why have I been, why am I in such a cage? Then the trigger is telling you, hey, you have anger within you, or you have this within you, you're judging somebody. It is telling me what I am. What we are supposed to, we just have to accept whatever is coming to us. When we accept ourselves, then it means that, yeah, this scene is done. That genuinely that scene you have done it, no? You've lived that scene completely. It was meant to show you something. You had picked that scene for experiencing something, and you finished experiencing something. That's why now there is no need for you to continue in that, no? So that cage will dissolve. It is more like a scene is like a cage. You have picked a cage. You have picked a cage so that you can understand some part of you, which is actually locking you in this whole cycle. See, just think about this when you're actually working on something. Let's say you're chopping vegetables. Are you thinking about chopping vegetables only? No. Maybe you're thinking about something else also. Correct? You're thinking about, okay, I need to text the vegetable guy to send me carrots. You are actually cutting vegetables, but you have already planned to jump to another scene where you're ordering carrots. So it's like we are constantly in this, the mind is constantly not in the present. It wants to keep jumping from one scene to another scene. In one scene, you're chopping vegetables, but you're actually not present in that scene. You have already jumped to another scene where you are now ready to order carrots. And when you're ready to order carrots also, you're thinking, what else do I want? You're thinking about something or the other. You're thinking about your mother, or I have to do this, I have to do that. There is so much of restlessness, right, within us. Mind is constantly jumping. So which is why we are actually trapped in this ball of scenes. We are jumping constantly from one scene to another scene. Even if the character dies, let's say somebody dies, immediately they'll pick another body. Even immediately that subtle body will pick one body. In that n possible scenarios that God has been ever created, it will pick one body. It will start from the baby situation. From the baby scenario, it will pick, and then again that story will continue. Imagine how much we are in that constant mode where we want to keep coming back, keep coming back into something or the other. We are circulating in this whole Disney world. You're getting my point? You're getting my point? How much we are wanting to go back, and these kind of information to constantly keep going back from one character to another character. Let's say from Smita character to Suresh. Let's say my next life is Suresh. I'm just giving a hypothetical thing. If from Smita character to Suresh character, Suresh is also in this Disney world only. Suresh's character is also one of the, let's say, many games in Disney world. Smita's character is also many games in the Disney world. So like that, how many now moments Smita might have? Tell me. Let's say I'm leading one particular life, right from my childhood till I am 46, 47 years old. There have been so many thousands of N moments, now moments that have happened. So many scenes my body has picked to live. But does that mean it is the only possible thing? No, there are N possible scenes that I did not pick. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell is we have to get into acceptance so that we can finish some of these things. Okay. We have to get into acceptance so that we can be okay with whatever scene we are picking and finish it and live it to the fullest. That is why acceptance is very important, so that we can, whatever scene we have picked, let us live it fully. Let us understand it fully. Let us take it in the spirit that it has to be taken, and then go to another scene, which will anyway happen. When we are constantly restless, we are just jumping. We finished one body, then also we are jumping from one body to another body only. From now, let's say Smita's character only is there. Now, let's say Smita dies. Now, that same subtle body is now picking some other baby's body. And in that, maybe I'm Suresh. That there also, again, I'm jumping. Imagine how many such bodies we have picked just for experience. And this cycle will never get over until we want to get out of the cycle and see that big picture. In that big picture, everything is happy. We are trying to go from one scene to another scene so that we can be happy in every scene. But there is no happiness in every single scene. We are just living it for experience sake. There is not happiness or anything. Just experience the scene. All the scenes are equal. There is no good scene, bad scene. My past, my life in the few years back where it was not good. I wish I had known acceptance. Knowing acceptance and knowing surrender is just one experience. Not knowing acceptance, not knowing surrender is also one experience. And it is for you to come into a scene where acceptance and surrender and all has to be appreciated. You have to understand what is not knowing acceptance and surrender also. It is a contrast. It is an opposite thing. So the soul decides, or that higher self decides, and decides what all we should, what is that plan, that soul plan we say, right? That's so as per that soul plan, we are navigating from one scene to another scene so that we can live that experience as a part of Smita's body. Based on that plan, these kind of scenes are picked. We are not creating these scenes. When people say I manifested this, I manifested that, I manifested one bungalow, all of that is already there. You just went to that particular point in frequency, that's all. Everything is already created. Every possible thing that we can ever think of is already created. That God, who is beyond our mind, has already created everything. When your mind expands, you can understand whatever now you can't understand. Correct? So we can't think that whatever I know now is that's all. There is so much more that we don't know. And that will happen only when you are ready to go from one scene to another scene. And you are okay to leave one experience and go to another experience. And when will that happen? Only when you are giving a permission and saying, yes, I have done this experience. Okay, fine. Whatever it is, this experience is giving me, it is bad, good, nothing. Don't see bad, good. It is just an experience. It is just a scene that you have traveled in your huge travel. This is one of the scenes. That's all. Just be okay with it. Have that strength to say, okay, so be it. Let it be. This too shall pass. Come into that state of acceptance. Then just be bindas. Yeah, one more scene. One more scene. Like that, if you just keep going, no, you'll travel faster. And you will finish all those possible things that you ever want to understand. I mean, what is it that when we keep traveling like this, the only thing that we'll try to understand is, hey, I've already eaten this. I've already eaten this also. When you keep going to restaurants very frequently, over time you'll get bored, right? You've eaten the same idli, you've eaten the same dosa, you've eaten the same thing. I want something new. You'll say, I want something new. Because let's say every single day you're going to eat, hotels. Over time, you'll get bored. Similarly, you'll get over time, you would have lived so much of scenes that you'll only think that, yeah, I think whatever I'm looking for, I'm not finding. So instead of looking outside in the scenes, I look within. So then you'll actually navigate scenes where in that scene, the character is going inwards. He's learning about acceptance. He's learning about surrender. And then he'll go to scenes where he's practicing acceptance, where he's practicing surrender. Like that, we are going on a different direction. It's like certain scenes are bunched up together, giving a certain meaning to life, giving you a certain experience. But now on the spiritual path, that navigation takes you somewhere else. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3 will lead to scene 3, scene 4, scene 5, scene 6. It'll go like this. Overall, for this explanation, whatever I'm giving, the message is, unless you accept, you are not traveling in your journey. You're sort of stuck in the same scene. So why to be stuck? Why to think that something is better than something else. Everything is equal. Every experience is equal. If I am, and in this whole scenes, if the scene has over time distracted us. It's like, imagine God sent us to explore Disneyland. Until, let's say he left us 1 year back. Just giving hypothetically. Still, we haven't come out of Disneyland. It's been more than a year. We have not come out of Disneyland because it is so enchanting. And we have started loving Mickey, Donald, and all of those characters that we have not come out only. We are like enjoying our life with them. We have forgotten who we are. So for that journey to end and realize who we are, whatever attachments we've made in that Disneyland has to drop, no? For that you have to, so that when God is actually watching us, he's watching us inside the Disneyland. He's seeing from the helicopter, he's seeing us. Where all I'm going. See, I went to Minnie, I went to Mickey, and then I have made friends with them. I started living with them. I forgot who I am. All of that is, God is watching. So he will try to bring experiences to us to say that, see, this is the path, this is the exit path from Disneyland. He's showing us the exit path. In every single thing, he's leading us towards the exit. He's showing us the path to who we truly are, who I truly was, or who I truly am. Every experience is coming to us to lead us to the exit. You should believe like that. You should believe that my next experience is leading me to the exit. My next experience is leading me to the exit. Always it is like that. So you will continue to follow those directions only when you are in acceptance of the current. Then you will pass that experience. Then the next experience also will lead you to exit. Okay. So this acceptance is so important. It's so important to look at it. Look at when any POSC sends you triggers, you have to look within and say, this happened because I had something within me. That keep accepting until that 100% acceptance comes inside you. Then that scene will dissolve and you would have exit that scene, and one more scene will come. One more experience will come to show you where again you are stuck. Like that, so many areas we've got still stuck. Let's say you like one ride, two, ride three, walking with Mickey, walking with Donald, so many such things. All of that has to dissolve. And then you'll feel like only coming out of the Disneyland. You will only feel like coming out of Disneyland. So every scene, every experience that is coming to you is helping you get to a point where you yourself will feel like coming out of this entire drama, the whole Disneyland experience. So trust that it is coming like that, and then you will not label any experience as bad or good. Because the one who is generating that experience for you has the intention to show you the exit one after the other. If you have to take 10 different experiences of one followed by the other, you have to start with one, no? You have to take that step forward, acceptance step forward. So acceptance is very important. And like I have already told in the past classes, you will anyway do acceptance of what is inside you. But that surrender means you are not breaking the cage. Somebody else is breaking the cage. You're just saying, okay, fine, I'm in acceptance. And then you send an acceptance letter to God. Then that acceptance letter is like God saying, okay, fine, yeah, I got the acceptance letter. I'm going to break the cage now. Then you will also get liberated. So we are actually getting self-realized, or we are getting enlightened in installments. There is no 100% enlightenment or 100% self-realization right when you sit in meditation or anything. That is not how it happens. The way it happens is every single moment when you are in acceptance, you are actually getting liberated from a cage. And that is called liberation. That is called self-realization. It's easy, right? It's not so difficult anymore. It's like it's not for the saints, or it's not for every single one of us who are leading, who are in families, who still have kids, who are mothers and fathers and whatnot. All of us can become self-realized. And the only thing that we have to do is accept who we are when we are shown who we are. Because we don't know who we are yet fully. We don't know our Vishwa Swarup, or that Krishna showed his Vishwaroop, right? We don't know our Vishwaroop. So to know our Vishwaroop, we are getting it in installments. One pose is coming, and each pose is coming to show us one portion of who we are. Accept, no, there is no choice. You still have to accept whether you like it or no. There are so many parts of us that we don't like. See, if you don't like a POSC, if you don't like, let's say, some part of it in your husband, it means that you don't like some part of it in yourself. That is the whole point. We don't like ourselves only. So when we start to like ourselves, see, it's not about liking or disliking. Hey, just accept who you are. Have the guts to accept who you are. When you are able to say, I can see that, see, for me, I used to be very conscious about, no, I should be very, what do you say, judgmental or something like that when somebody had body odor. So when people used to have body odor, I used to not like it. So off late, that is the one that is dissolving within me. And even though I don't like smelling body odor when people are around me, and then all of that, it's not easy, right? It's not easy to smell people who are around you. But when you know that you have to go through this, when your goal is self-realization, the only way to that ultimate bliss or ultimate happiness, which is not available in any scene that you're trying to search in, is to endure people who have body odor. Every time I get people body odor, I used to have an urge to tell them, why don't you drink juices? Why don't you, let's say, take bath twice a day? Why don't you wash your clothes? Why don't you use this deodorant? All of this gyan used to come, all of these suggestions I have given in the past. And it has not worked. People have not liked it, or people have ignored me, or people have not done it. Why people have not done it is because I have not learned. I have not learned, that is why they are coming. They're still coming. So then I decided, it's been a while. I've decided that, okay, yeah, when I find a person with body odor in front of me and I smell it, I will tell myself that there is something inside me which is still, which still attracts this kind of a POSC in front of me. It is because of me. It is not them. It is because of me. And when I'm still constantly telling myself it's because of me, it's because of me, it's because of me only. Someday POSCs will end because I have got that genuine acceptance within me. If I have to tell 100 times, 1,000 times that it is me, when every single POSC comes to me with body odor, then only that will end. So this is called sadhana. This is called application of knowledge. You should not be tired to apply that knowledge. Some portions inside us will require you to apply that 10,000 times. Sometimes it require you to apply 5 times. Some cages are very thin. Some cages are very fat. So don't get tired. Don't question why it is not going. It will not go it's like it's a program. This is a program. In this program, POSCs will keep coming as long as we are going to attract it. We have something inside us. That is why they're coming. So tell yourself that it is something within you that such a experience is coming to me. Then someday it will stop. But our intention should be to ensure that they are constantly keep coming so that we can progress. Unless that cage melt, we can't progress, no? Unless the POSs come to help us melt it, we can't melt it. So they are actually helping us. So let the body odor people keep coming in my life so that someday I can practice, and finally come to 100% and end it. That is very important. You should not stop these things. You should not wish for these things to stop. You should wish that I go to that end. I self-realize every single moment. Every single moment, if you're self-realizing, means what? Every single moment you're in acceptance. Every single moment you're wishing to be in surrender. Surrender, God will help you to do. See, that intention is very important. Unless you are intending, God will not help you to do all of those things. If you don't even have an intention, why will that experience come? Okay, so this acceptance, the surrender is mostly like a green card for you to go to God's world or walk with God. And it's like a fire that is going to constantly melt your limitations. And what you have understood acceptance, right? You are accepting what you are. You are not accepting the behavior of the other person. You are accepting whatever he triggered within you. This journey is about acceptance of self, not acceptance of some husband who's abusing or something. I'm not even talking, when that husband is abusing, you feel fear. When you feel fear, that fear is what you have to acknowledge. When you acknowledge that fear that is within you and remember that, oh, he did that because he had to show me that I am in fear. Accept that you are in fear. That is why it came. And every single time you point this to yourself, that will end, that journey will end very soon. That husband who's abusing will no longer abuse. Of course, you have a choice to leave him and go. But if that is not something that you're picking and you want to stay with the same husband getting abused, then this is the way out. There is no other way out. No complaining, no blaming. You made a choice to stay with the same husband, then this is the process you have to follow, acceptance. Accept who you are. Which is why you have picked that scene, no? Why do you generally pick a scene? Why did you pick a scene? You picked a scene for a certain experience. So sometimes when we are actually being victims, we like to experience victimhood also. And like I said, there is nothing like good experience, bad experience. We are all in that experience. In fact, in one of the videos, Bashar or even Abraham Hicks says that we are all in the center of the storm. What happens in the center of the storm? It is very calm. You know that storm? It just keeps going like this, no? Have you seen that? It keeps going like this. It takes cars, every garbage and everything within it, and it just keeps going like this. It keeps going, no? Storm. In the center of that storm, there is emptiness. There is vacuum. There is nothing there. It is very silent. There is nothing inside that storm. In that center, we are like that vacuum. We have to be in that center. If we just go towards the side, then we'll be disturbed. If we go towards this side also, we'll be disturbed. So we have to stay in the center. In the center, there is no disturbance. Experiences that are coming to you will not disturb you. So stay in the center, be in acceptance. Acceptance of who you are. Let the experience come and show you who you are. That is what the experience is meant to be. As a part of the experience, there are POSs who are playing a game It's like a package. Experience comes with POSC. It's like a package deal. The entire package is coming to show you who you are. So accept whoever you are. Accept, it's like you are just discovering who you are. You don't like it. That's okay. You can't help it. You are that. Only when you accept, only you will be able to see the next version of you. It's like when you're opening a gift wrapper or something like that. First, you have to open one portion. The sticky tape you have to open. Then you have to open like this. Then you have to open like this. Then you have to open like this. And then one dabba will come. All the four you'll have to open like this. Then one dabba will be there. Then you have to cut the dabba open. Then open. Then four flaps of that you'll open. Then the gift will be inside. Like that, we are actually getting opened. And every single experience is helping in the opening. We will discover who we are when we get to the center of that gift dabba. As of now, every experience is just opening us like this. That opening is called dissolving of the cage. Okay, any doubts so far? No doubts? Oh my God, super, yeah. What? Bindu, you had this question. Have I answered it? Having an intention, does it mean that what we want or desire? You're on mute. You're on mute. No, but we can't hear you. I think last class also the same thing happened. You may want to connect with your cell phone and come back. Okay. Okay. I think I just take this question from Rohini. She was saying, what about worshipping the ancestors?
Roshni.
Roshni is there on the call?
She was there, she left.
Yeah, it seems she had a call. Okay, let me just answer her question. So she was asking, what should we do? Should we worship the ancestors? There is this Pitru Masa now. So it's not just in Hindu culture, even in November time frame or something, All Souls Day also comes in Christianity. Lots of such things are there in every single religion or every single group of people. They do practice worshipping the ancestors. See, I'll just share what I believe or what I think. It is just a version of my reality. There is nothing right or wrong about it. Okay, we are free to choose whatever we want to do and whatever we want to believe. And because they asked me this question, I will just share whatever I believe. See, for me, God is the supreme most person. He's supreme. And everything is a manifestation of God. Now, take an office setup. There is a CEO of the company. Now there is the next level of managers and the next level of managers, let's say directors, assistant directors, and then there are managers and there are technical leads. And then comes the developer, for example. Now, who is the developer reporting to? He is probably interacting with the technical lead. And the technical lead is, let's say, reporting to the manager. Then the manager is reporting to the, let's say, director, assistant director. Assistant director is reporting to the director. Director is reporting to the, let's say, God. I'm just to the CEO. Now, can the developer interact with the CEO? No. But what if whenever the developer is doing his code in whatever project he's working on, if he's doing the code, keeping the company's interests in mind, instead of the managers being happy in his mind. Oh, if I do this code, then the manager will be happy with me and he's going to give me an appraisal. Instead of doing like that, if he says, I'm going to do this project, and I'm going to give my best to this project. And because this project is actually going to help my company. And when the company is in a good, doing well, then obviously I'll get my share. I'll get my raise. I'll get my bonus. So if that is his intention, then it will be a good thing. But what typically people do is they actually work to praise the manager, to keep the manager in good books. My manager is going to do my appraisal, so he should actually be more. It's more of they try to butter the manager and all of that. Most often than not, this is what happens. The manager should notice me doing this kind of work. So even in this, when we come to our own as human beings, this whole concept of procreation started only because we wanted to continue living. We had body consciousness. So as a body, I can't continue my body. Over a period of time, body dies. And that became a reality over a period of time when the consciousness started dropping to third dimension, and when people did not realize that they were eternal, they were that soul and all of that. They were associated with the body, and the body was dying, and they could not save the body from dying. Expiry date of the body came. So then they wanted to somehow live. So what did they do? They started procreating and thinking that my essence, which is, let's say, my sperm or my egg, through that, my something called me and mine will continue to live. So that was the major reason for procreation, that I will continue to live through my son, through my daughter. Even though I die, my lineage will continue. So like this, like this, of course, the people continue to increase and all of that. And then there was something called an ancestral line. From these set of people, there is one line that gets created, right? Typically, that is what we call an ancestor. In whatever lineage we are, those are ancestors. But you can be your own ancestor also. If you are born in the same family, in the same set of soul, in the same set of soul families, if you are constantly continuing to keep being born, then you might be actually your own grandfather. Your own grandfather, the fathers might, you might have played the role of your own grandfather also. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell is, this is ancestor. Now, when we do Pitru Paksha, when we do Pitru worship and all of that, what God says, or even in Bhagavad Gita, what they say is, I will come to you in the way or in the form that you worship. If you worship me as an ancestor, I will come to you and give you what an ancestor can give you. Or how rather you are asked, it's more about when we worship somebody, what are we typically what we do when we are worshiping, we say, I bless me to become like you, or you are looking up on them and they are like your role models kind of thing. So they are the people that you wish to be a part of, you wish to continue to be with them. So what Bhagavad Gita says is, if you worship the ancestors, you will also continue to be in this birth-death cycle like the ancestors. If you worship, let's say people do dark magic and those kinds of things also. If you worship those kinds of things, you will also continue to, in your subsequent lives or in your subsequent scenes, you will also continue to experience the same thing. But if you worship the Supreme God, then you will also walk towards the Supreme God, and I will come to you in every scene. I will lead you to me, to become me. So even when you're doing these ancestral worshipping and all of those kinds of things, it is good to feel grateful that some soul helped you to be born here on earth. It is very good to be respectful, It is very good to be grateful and all of that. But then don't get carried away in fear mongering. I did not do this, so my ancestors are going to be angry on me, and then they will give me, they will curse me. Those don't go into that mode at all. Remember, fear is going to bring you fear-inducing POSEs in your life. Because you have fear, such people will come in your life. So even if some experience is coming to tell you that you have fear, just acknowledge that you have fear of ancestors. If I don't do puja to my ancestors, then this is going to happen. Is a fear that you have because of a belief system that is already inside you. So when such an experience comes to you to trigger your fear that was already inside you, just watch it with that kind of a perception. Whatever is taught in the class, you think it from that terms. Don't go get carried away in one stories. And always, even let's say sometimes, even in my family also, even though I have this kind of a mentality, this kind of a belief, let's say my in-laws, we have to go to temple. There is one particular day, and then there's a shraddh and all that they do. At that time, is it right for me to say, no, I will not come because I don't believe in all these things? No, it doesn't work like that. But what is my belief? My belief is, look at the Supreme God behind everything. So when I'm looking at the Supreme God behind everything, when my in-laws call me for that puja or whatever it is, I am going to bend down there when I'm, let's say, bending down to the ancestors, when they do pinda and all of that. When I'm bending down to the ancestors, I'm actually intending to bow down to that Supreme God that is who is within me only. Who will know who I'm doing? Physically, I'm actually doing namaskaram to all of those things there. But internally, what am I doing? Internally, I am bowing down to that Supreme who is within me. So whoever you worship, whatever you worship, always look at that Supreme behind everything. That's all. That is everything. It contains everything in that. Imagine there is gold. Whether you wear a earring, whether you wear a necklace, whether you wear an anklet, whether you wear a bangle, it is still gold only. So look at that gold behind all of the ornaments. So then problem solved, no. Then there is nothing like, oh, I'm not going to come and do this puja. I'm not going to do that puja. I don't believe this. I don't believe that. Then there is nothing like, you're not creating a conflict in your family life and all of that. Do anything in your mind. Think of God. If you have to do namaskaram to, let's say, some elders, and you suddenly don't believe, oh, I don't have to do namaskaram to all the elders. They don't mean anything to me. All of that will come in our head. Drop all that. In everybody, there's God. If somebody says, go and do namaskaram to that bench, because there is God, don't call it superstitious. Go do namaskaram, in your head there is God. Intend to bow to that Supreme within that bench also. So there is no need for you to actually get into limited mode, get into conflict mode, get into confusion mode, because God is in everything. Look at God in everything. He is everywhere. In everything, if you are actually connecting to Him, thinking about Him, speaking to Him, then problem solved. You are happy everywhere. Okay, so that is about that ancestor question. What was the other question? Anju, what was your question?
Now, what about they say na Shraddha, the days are now holy and all. What about that?
I mean, if somebody says it's holy, yeah, every day is holy. Every day is also God.
They are not holy days. You should not do any good. मतलब कोई अच्छा काम नहीं करना चाहिए during these days. Yeah.
How can you even prove that? See, let's say you believe that and you go ahead with other days. Even if you do that, you really don't know. You don't know about the others, right? Because you didn't make that rule. You just chose to believe that rule. So when there is no good and bad, why can't you just say, Okay, fine. Instead of saying that some other day is bad, those days are also good, but I'll choose this day because all days are okay. Instead of, see, my whole point is it's not about doing on one day, eating something, not eating something. Just don't have a hate mentality, bad mentality in your head. That's all. It's not about doing. It's never about the action. It's always about the intention that you have in your mind. As long as you have duality in your head, that is the one that you need to work on. Okay. It was never about the days. It's about, yeah, that you're not picking a certain day because it's bad. You're picking some day because it's, you think it is okay for you to pick that day. All days are okay. You can pick any day, but don't have a bad day, good day kind of mode. See, even in our house, right? I have kept a caretaker now. Okay, we come from the Brahmin family and all of that, and I have in-laws. Sorry, I have relatives who told me keep a separate plate for her, keep a separate glass for her. Don't feed her in your plates. All of that gyan they gave me. Did I go and argue with them? No, I didn't go argue with them. I'm doing whatever I want to do. She eats in the same plates that we all eat. She comes into the kitchen, she helps me. I mean, there is absolutely no, what do you say, from that thing, I'm not differentiating her. But there is one more trigger that I saw recently. I was still seeing the fear inside me to leave her with my mother and just like everybody go out of the house. Because there is a fear that has been induced within me, or rather, the fear is already there within me, which says when there is some stranger in the house, then you should not leave the house and go. Why? Because what if the stranger takes away some things? What if the stranger robs? One of the relative told me also, don't enter, don't make her go here, go there, don't talk about her and about the house and all of that. See, then I was actually thinking, oh, see, actually, I have that fear. I have that fear. That is why these people are coming and telling me all these stories. See, that day that there was a caretaker, it seems, and then she robbed the entire house, it seems, and then there is nothing left in that house. All these stories I got to hear. That is when I realized, oh, actually, I have a fear. It might have been deep down, I may not have even realized it. But it does not come, it does not look surprising to me because I know it, I had it. But at this time, it comes out. Then why am I in fear? Because, oh, what if they take away things? That shows that I have attachment to my things. So these are the connections that I have to bring in to say what all is binding me to my cages. So Saturday I have to go out, and there is one option where I can maybe ask my father-in-law to stay in the house with my mother and the caretaker so that he's there at home. But then the other option is just leave and go. Trust and go. If something is yours, if I need an experience where something has to go away from my house, I have to come to acceptance that that material was never, that material had served its purpose. That's why it went off. So there are so many things that actually will come like that. Moment to moment, triggers will keep coming like this. And we just have to continue to accept and go like this. So there is nothing bad or good in this whole thing. We just have to accept that I have a discriminating mentality, that some days are good and some days are bad. If you're okay with that, if you're continuing to, if you think that that kind of mentality is keeping you happy, stick to it. If that mentality is not keeping you happy and you are actually feel tied down and suffering with that, then put these processes and then dare to do things. Because once you accept that, there will again be other experiences that is connected to that, which will come and say, why did you do it on this day? Something happened, something got stolen because you did it on the bad day. Such experiences also will come. Then be prepared to face that also and apply the process there also. See, learning is a continuous process. Application of learning is also a continuous process. There is no end to it. Today I'll apply, tomorrow I'll not apply. No. Every moment POSCs are there around you. Every moment we are in a scene. How much aware you want to be, that is your choice. How much you want to get to the goal, which is God, is your God should be the goal in every single role of your life, every single moment of your life. He's there, yeah, he's there within us only. How much we want to get, how badly we want to get to him depends on how much you're willing to apply this process in your life. Because you only have created those cages. Are you only willing to destroy them? Are you okay to destroy them? It is your choice. Did I answer your question, Anju?
Yes, Nita.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I asked in the group was something else.
What was that?
Actually, one I really when we're talking about the chanting thing, right? My whole life is colored with all different gods. When I was young, Christian school, then from 3rd to 10th standard, Hindu school, then I'm a Jain. So I don't have anything in particular. I don't have any God in particular whom I have faith. Yeah. So I'm so confused. I have a lot of confusion in mind. What I don't know much. I have read Amar Chitra Kathas, I have watched Ramayana, Mahabharata, and I've watched so many movies, Ganeshas. And my music teacher, she used to tell us so many stories of all this Ganesha, Kartikeyan, and everything, and in Jain, Mahavira, and everything. Yeah. So then I've read this Ramayana, Mahabharata. Okay, when I was young, it was okay. Now when I grew up, especially regarding they say Purushottam Maharam is there. But for me, the one thing that because Sita had to give Agni Pariksha because he asked Sita to move away because of a Dhobi thing, yeah. So I have this question about Ram's thing, yeah. The one thing is he left his everything. He didn't have any attachment. When he was going to be crowned as a king, he was okay, and when he had to leave, was okay. That was good. But for me, I have a question. This era, how can he be a Purushottam Ram when he asked his wife, matlab, to move away because of this thing, because of a dhobi, questioning about her character. Matlab, I have this question, and about Krishna also. Ki pura Narayana seva de diya to the Duryodhan. His own people, he got it killed. Samne wala opposite. I don't know how to.
He got the Yadavs killed.
Yeah. So, and all these questions keep running in my mind. So though I do the chanting when I go to Krishna temple or anything temple, I do all this. But now these things keep coming in my mind, actually.
See, which is what I'm trying to say is, look at the supreme, not the character who came in front of you to give a message. And to even understand the message of Ramayana or or Krishna avatar, it needs a lot of higher perception. To even get to that understanding of higher perception, we have to raise our vibration to go there. In fact, if you have read this Untold Stories of Sita book, you'll get all your answers about Ramayana, and your understanding about Rama and Sita actually will change a lot. And it has busted a lot of myths that we had in our head. So if you're able to read that book, it means that you've already raised your vibrations and are ready for those answers. See, all the answers are already within you. But what you're trying to do when you do sadhana is you're just wiping the dirt that is helping you in not reading that. If there is a book in which all of these are actually there, but you are not able to see it because there is a lot of dust collected on the book. You know that it is there in the book, right? So which is what we are trying to do here. We are just trying to clean up. We are not here to get answers. The answers are already inside you. It will automatically come out inside your head only. You don't have to look for answers outside. You just have to believe that answers are already within me. I only have to clean up to read those answers. And sadhana is only about that. And coming to your other question about which God to do and all of that. So why are we doing all of these chanting and all of this is because when you are generally yourself, the ego and the mind is constantly jumping from one thing to another thing, right? It is restless. It is constantly thinking about jumping from one scene to another scene. It is going to the past, it is going to the future, it is constantly thinking about something, it is restless. So when you do chanting, you are basically training your mind to hold on to one thing. You hold on to Ram, you hold on to Krishna, you hold on to Mahavir Jain, you hold on to anything. You are actually holding on, your intention is you're holding on to that Paramatma. Because Mahavir Jain he came and then he left his body and he went. Krishna came, he left his body and he went. Rama came and then he went into Sarayu and then he went off. Their energies are there. That energy belongs to whom? It belongs to that Supreme God. So who were we seeing behind that body? That Supreme God. That Supreme God only was actually coming in the form of Ram. That Supreme God only came in the form of Mahavira. That Supreme God only came in the form of Ganesha to give us some messages on earth. It doesn't mean that when you think about Ganesha, you're thinking only about Ganesha. You should be thinking about the one behind Ganesha. Then it doesn't matter who you're chanting, who you're chanting. And another thing is, typically, why this whole chanting thing came also is to streamline your mind, to make your mind fix on something that is constant. It is the same thing. It's not jumping, changing, because whatever is changing is that Prakriti. But what doesn't change is that Supreme God's essence. So whatever you do, if you're able to connect to that Supreme God, intention should be I'm connecting to that Supreme God's essence. I'm chanting for that Supreme God essence. That if that is there, no, then you're holding on to that one thing. Let's say when I'm chanting, there is a tendency to constantly say it very fast. Sometimes it becomes like a tongue twister. So at the time, all that I'm focusing on are the words that my mouth is speaking. And every time I speak that one chant, one jap, or let's say Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, once I speak one sentence, I'm actually I'm actually rather having that awareness to say, because God wished, rather because God approved, I was able to bring that out of me. So the gratitude comes. It's not like I'm constantly thinking about the form of God, shape of God, leg of God, hand of God, who's Swaroop. No, I'm not thinking any of this. For me, it doesn't come naturally also. That imaginations don't come naturally for me. For me, gratitude comes naturally. So when that word comes out, I'm just grateful that, okay, he approved one more word, so one more word came out. He approved one more word, so one more word came out. He approved one more word, so it came out. And then there is that Shri Ram, Jai Ram. In that Jai Ram, there is a tendency for me to eat off that Jai Ram, which means Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram. So it goes so fast sometimes in that flow, like as if it has picked up momentum and it is not in first gear, it is now gone into fifth gear. I can't even notice that Jai Ram that I'm talking about. So then I'm focusing on, I'm concentrating and seeing whether I actually uttered Jai Ram in between. So many of these things only I'm focusing when I'm chanting. And intention is to connect to that Supreme only. I have also done many chantings. I've done Gayatri Japam. I've done Sri Raghavendra Swami Japam. I've done so many different things. Mahapratyunjay. And whenever I've done it, no, the awareness that I had was like, this is the ultimate, till I die, I'm going to do this only. But then the seriousness with which it came, it disappeared like this. I didn't make it disappear. It only disappeared. The seriousness also went off. So all I have concluded in my life is when it had to come, it came. Whatever energy it had to generate within me, it generated. Now something else is the priority. So some other experience is coming. And even in this chanting, if my intention or my sankalpam is to say 1 crore japam, and that will take many years. But at least my internal what do you say target is to say 50 malas every day. But there are times when I'm not able to do 50 malas. It can be also because of my distractions. At the time, I don't curse myself and say, oh yeah, see Smita, you were on the cell, you were distracted, you were chatting with your friends and all of that. That is why you could not do 50 malas. I don't regret like this. Yeah, it was meant to be. That is why it happened. But now I'll try to be more aware. That's all. I accept that also. And on the days that I've done it with seriousness also. And I accept that also. And on the days I've done more than 50 also, I've accepted that also. Just be okay with whatever comes your way because you are not the one who's controlling anything. Be okay. That is where acceptance comes. Deeper level of acceptance is not just about your own emotions and all that. It's about life happening to you, including your own choices, including your own actions and all, are also happening because you made it happen. Somebody else made sure that through your body it is happening. It's okay, accept and connect to the Supreme in whatever you do. But as much as possible, at least in any given moment, think that whether I'm doing this, whether I'm doing that, that Supreme Person is constantly there across chantings, whether it is Rama chanting, Krishna chanting, this chanting, that chanting. You're still constantly thinking only about that Supreme. Even I have jumped. Even I've done Mahamantra in the past. And of late, this is the one I'm doing. Hare Rama thing is the one I'm doing. Shri Ram Jai Ram is what I'm doing. And I feel good. Someday probably I'll probably wean out of this also. When it weans out, I'm not going to curse myself and say, Smita, see, you did it for so many days and then you generated so much of energy and now you have to pick up some new japam. I'm not going to think so seriously about it. See, I can see myself growing despite all of this flip-flops that I've had in my life. My husband says I'm like a butterfly. I just run from one flower to another flower. 3 months something and another 3 months something else. It's okay that maybe that is the way I'm learning. It is okay. But I see growth within me. Even despite the flip-flops, I see the growth. And I'm not bringing the flip-flops. Do I have the big picture in my head? I don't have. Whoever is making my life flip-flop like this, maybe has a big picture. That's why he's flip-flopping it. It's okay for me. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yeah. And I think be more connected to Hopununu prayer and thank you. Nowadays, more of thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, just keep doing as long as, like I said, in everything, just think of that Supreme. He doesn't need to have a form shape. Even if you want to imagine the word called SUPREME also, that's okay. Or just intend that I'm connecting to that God. That's enough.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I think who had one more question? Sudha, you had one question.
Hi, Smita.
Hi.
Without acceptance, when I have an expectation and there is a result which is what I expected, I get happy.
Without acceptance. Can you come again?
Without acceptance. Yeah, without applying acceptance concept. So I have an expectation of something, and if that happens, I'm happy, and if it's not happening, then I'm sad. With acceptance, what happens is I am okay with all the results. Whatever results is coming, I'm okay with that. But when the result is coming, then I'm not happy about it because I have already accepted everything. This applying this acceptance concept, as much as it reduces the suffering, I feel like it's also reducing the happiness that comes out of the results. So is my understanding right?
Can you give me example?
Smita?
Yeah, Bindu.
You can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, we
Uh,
can.
Okay,
Yeah, Sudha.
in that now what Sudha is asking, is it not like she's confusing herself?
No,
When
let me
she has accepted
let her complete her question.
If I write an exam, for example, I write an exam and I want to get 90% in that exam. Without acceptance concept, I write the exam, I get 90, I'm happy. If I get 40, I'm going to be sad. But now I'm accepting every result and I'm okay with every result. Even if I get 90, I'm not going to be, because I have already accepted everything. And I'm not happy about, I'm not going to be as happy without this acceptance concept. Am I right?
No, acceptance is not about that. Acceptance is about you. For example, when you're taking this examination concept in mind, you are doing the best to study your subjects. You're not leaving any stone unturned, and then you're studying day and night, and then you're doing it. But if you're working hard for that 90%, then you're working hard only for one outcome. When that one outcome doesn't come, and when you get 40%, you'll obviously be sad because you had an expectation in mind. That is not acceptance. So what we are talking about is you put your effort to give 100% for the studying part itself. And don't put your mind on 90%. Maybe when you put your 100% in your effort to study, you may get 100 also. But when you put your mind on that 90%, you are actually you are actually limiting yourself to only 90. But you may have also got 100 if you had dropped that. If you had surrendered, you would have got 100 also. You would have got 40 also. But then the quality of effort that you put, the intention should be only me and my doing, not the result. Then when you do your work properly, without putting your head on the outcome, then that outcome will also be good only. For example, let's say you get 90, you will actually be very happy with that 90. You'll also get 100 also. Many other time, as per my experience, if you have done proper surrender work means I am going to do my work and I know that whatever outcome comes will be for my best. That kind of mentality when you have, attitude when you have, and you will put your 100% for your work at hand. Not even thinking what outcome is going to come. Obviously, it will reflect the same. So when I put my effort on this, then usually whatever outcome comes, your mindset will also be in the state of 100% happiness. You'll be more than happy. Because there will be so many factors that comes with that, which will make you very happy. Somehow there is like, let's just say that God knows how to make you happy. More than you knowing how to make yourself happy, God knows how to make yourself genuinely happy. Like that happiness you'll remember. But the happiness that you get for yourself, you'll not remember. You'll be happy today, tomorrow you'll forget about it. You won't even quote that in front of anybody. But then what God gives you, right, that experience of happiness, you'll keep talking about it. You'll tell your friends, you'll tell everybody about it. That is the value of the happiness God brings to you. And for that to happen in your life, for you to cherish that kind of experience, you have to focus on your duty. What is your duty in that current moment? When you do yours duty properly, outcomes will take care of itself. It'll not disappoint you. But if a disappointing outcome comes to you, it is quite possible, if you feel disappointed when you look at an outcome, it is because you have not surrendered. You were always still expecting one outcome in your mind. And now you're disappointed when some other outcome came. So you have to drop all expectations, which is what surrender says. Surrender says, I am only entitled to do my job, to do my duty in the present. What happens in the future is not my responsibility. Whatever I deserve will come to me. So when you had expectation, you will get what you deserved. When you did not have expectations and you were okay with all the outcomes, you liked outcome A, which is 90%. But there is outcome B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. All of those things also is necessary for you in your evolution. You have to go through it one day or the other. So that will come to you today or tomorrow. So be okay with it. It's like syllabus. Let's say in your schooling, you had 6 subjects. You may not like one subject, but then you had to study all the subjects to pass. So like that, you have to be okay with all the subjects, okay with all the outcomes. Be mentally ready for all outcomes. If this happens, I'm okay, fine, I'll be okay with that. If this happens, yeah, I don't like it, but chalo, I'll be okay with that also. When it happens, maybe there is a learning in that also. Let me be okay with that also. So when you're mentally ready for all outcomes, whether you like it or you don't like it, just trust that it is the right thing for you. And circumstances will help you face that also. When you're having that kind of trust on God, no, and you just focus on your duty, which is, I will give my best. I know that God will do the best for me as an outcome. That is surrender. But when you come to what is acceptance means, it is about you accepting yourself. How do you know yourself? When I tell you, can you give me who are you? When I say you, it's not about this body called Sudha. You have led like thousands of lives. You've had many different bodies. You means that Atma that is inside. Do you know about yourself? No. You only know about Sudha. And that also you don't know fully. So that kind of big picture will keep getting shown to you. For example, let's say you see people very stingy in front of you, but maybe you are very liberal. And then you go and judge and say, this person is so stingy. So it means that even if you are liberal, you have a nature inside to judge people who are not. Because someday you were stingy. After that, you left that, you outgrew it, and then now you become liberal. You have done that kind of journey. And you still have that kind of imprints inside you. Now, just because you have outgrown it doesn't mean that people who are actually still in that, when they come and show you that kind of nature, you don't like it. That nature is shown to you. Will God be like that? Is God that kind of a person? Will he judge people, his own creation? Will he see differentiation between all his children? Irrespective of whether they are demons or whether they are devatas, for him it's still the same. Like that, we have demons and we have all devata kind of nature and demon kind of nature within us only. We have in between nature also within us only. So when it is shown to us, then when we start accepting all our natures, then one day we will be that God. God means, it doesn't mean that it is God. God is, when we think about God, he's like pure, super, is like only having positive qualities. Yes, we think like that, right? But then what if God wants to experience a nature like Smita? He wants to be Smita. He wants to experience Smita's life. In that nature, he may not be 100% displaying only positive qualities. He'll probably having negative qualities also. But he's still God, no. Just because he's playing a character of villain doesn't mean that he's not Amitabh Bachchan. So that is what I'm telling. So you should still believe that you are Amitabh Bachchan, irrespective of you playing a villain role. That is called acceptance. You are accepting yourself. There is nothing like accepting the behavior of somebody else in front of you, or the situation in front of you, or the object that has come in front of you. It is about, are you accepting what they triggered inside you? You are getting my point? It is what you are accepting. If you don't accept, what will happen? You will suffer. You'll be fighting yourself. See, when they say in Mahabharata, Pandavas fought the Kauravas, it means your own 5 elements that you have within yourself, that purity within yourself, is fighting the negative qualities that you have. So you are actually eliminating the negative qualities within you by accepting their presence in your life. They accepted them as a part of the family. It was inside the family. And they still accepted that this is part of my family, and they still fought them. Here, fighting is not about you are bad, I am good. This fighting, that internal fight we are doing, that internal fight is just saying that I am, you can't fight anger with another anger. You have to fight anger without anger, which means you can't remove the darkness with darkness inside yourself. You can only remove the darkness by switching on the light. So that light is acceptance, which is remembering that you are that God. Even though you have that quality within you, suddenly you remember that you are that God. Then that part of the darkness within you will switch on light. Got it? So it is you focusing. Think that your awareness is God. The awareness that you have is called God. And you're taking that awareness to that dark spot that was inside you. That is called switching on the light. So every time somebody shows you that there is a dark place inside you, you're taking your awareness to yourself. Then there is switch on light is happening. That is called enlightenment, inside lightenment. You are switching on the light inside you. So every time we are accepting something within ourselves, we are getting enlightened. And like that, in installments, percentage by percentage, in percentage wise, we are getting enlightened. Because what is enlightenment? Knowing 100% of who we are is enlightenment. God knows how much percentage we have known about ourselves. When we get to 100%, we'll know it's over. But until then, let's keep going, no? Some parts are not easy. Some acceptances are not easy. Some acceptances are okay. It'll come easily. But it's okay, especially with family, husband, wife, children, and all that, it'll come very difficult. It's a very difficult exercise. Ego will be more because attachment will be more. So there it's very difficult. It's okay. Have patience. It will come. Keep applying the process. Your focus is to just keep getting enlightened every now and then, every moment. So acceptance of yourself, acceptance, like I said, again, summary. You're taking the awareness to a dark part that was inside you, that the POSC just showed you, just pointed through an experience or through a situation. You got the answer? Yeah.
I have another question if you have time.
Yes. Maybe I started late, no? So it's okay.
So I have a 7-year-old son. All these days I was teaching him this is good, this is bad. But now I have a conflict within me. Oh, I myself am putting him into a cage. I'm conditioning him, saying this is good, this is bad. Then again, he has to grow. And after 30 years of age, he has to come out of this cage. But again, if I'm not teaching all these things, he won't be able to adapt in the society. Like you said, the body order thing. I have to teach him that he has to be clean. So the body odor is not acceptable by others. So I have to teach him. But when I teach him, then again it goes to the thing that body odor is bad. So where do you draw that line?
See the way we have to, at least what I've been doing in my life, I'll tell with my kids. In some situations, we are aware that, oh, teaching them all of these things, I'm putting them into that conditioned environment and all that. But then there are so many areas of your life where you're actually naturally doing it, but you're not even in awareness, no? That is anyway happening, there is no control. So we are not talking about that part at all. You just, when you become aware only, that we are talking about acceptance and all that. So when you are aware that some things like this are happening, if you think that this is the right thing to be told to them, tell them. But from your side, don't have any expectations for the outcomes. Even if and don't have that insistence behavior also. I'm telling you, so you need to follow. I want it my way. That is insisting. That is also resistance. You are in resisting. So why do you want them to keep doing? Why do we keep telling some things? Because we want them to do it. When they do it, I am going to be happy. If they don't do it, what will happen? I'm going to be sad.
Yeah.
So that is the cage that you need to observe first. So when you are constantly observing your cages, irrespective of what you tell them or what you guide them, you will know what you are actually doing is to yourself. For example, if you tell them sit and study, yes, maybe that is the right thing to do. But then when you say sit and study, now they'll not sit and study, but let's say they are seeing TV. Didn't I ask you to sit and study? Why are you seeing TV? So we are constantly putting that effort to get to a certain outcome. There is one inner urge to go and then go to that outcome. Instead of that, every single time you tell them, go to surrender mode. Tell yourself, I'm not going to expect any outcome. I'm just going to tell them. At that time you're calm. When you have that inside mind which is restless, then you're not going to be calm. But then when you're telling them, say with a calm mind. Every single moment is a new moment. Don't think that two times I've already told him, third time I'm telling him. Don't think like that at all. Just tell him again freshly, like as if you're telling for the first time. Surrender. This is my duty. I feel it's my duty, so I'm just going telling him. So there is no attachment to any outcome. You're just doing it as if you've been told to do it. No strings attached. Then it'll keep going like this. One scene after the other, it'll keep going like this. So don't attach yourself to any outcome. Just in that moment, what you feel like doing, you just do. And also be aware about, why am I doing this action? Am I doing to want a certain outcome? Am I trying to insist him to do something because I want it in a certain way? When you are so focused on observing yourself, then you'll actually be very surprised that you will not be putting so much focus on them. They'll be automatically improving and changing and all of those things. Like I said, you have to go here to find your son doing the right things or some things that you like and whatever, you have to go here. You can't stand here and complain about the children who are here. They will be what you need. They will be giving you triggers that you need here. To go here, you need to go here. Then they will give you the triggers that are here, but then the triggers that they gave here will not be here. It will be good. It will be better than here.
Thank you, Smita. I'll keep
It's
pondering on
always focus on ourselves. Always. It's like, that is why we have to do chanting and all of that, because that awareness will not be there every single time to apply all of these kind of things. To come back to self, to apply the concept, what am I thinking, what am I feeling, am I insisting, am I in resistance, all of that feels a little complex, for it to feel simple, you need that energy, which is why I'm saying chanting. It helps. It will give you that. It'll give you that fuel to stay here, to keep going higher and higher. In that space, you'll be able to understand better, because that cleaning will keep happening inside. The more, when cleaning is happening, imagine that whatever you read from inside yourself, no, it will just be cleaner. It's like a mirror that is constantly getting cleaned. And the more you clean yourself, the better will be your awareness to apply that in daily life. You have to apply all that knowledge. You can't just go off to that enlightened stage. You have to apply as and when experiences come to you. You have to see yourself, find out what is it, that limitation that they are trying to show you. Accept that that limitation is inside me and not because of them. I'm not going to be angry on them. I'm not going to blame them. I'm not going to think bad about them. But I'm going to think that it's here and I'm going to accept that it's here. Then there is no blame game. So it's sometimes difficult. Even with all this knowledge, sometimes it's difficult to apply with my daughters sometimes. Because it's not just, you're not just being one-on-one. Sometimes there are multiple parties who are actually doing this triggering job on the same subject. Your husband also might be there, your daughter also might be there, and they both will have a conflict. That also might be triggering you. Lots of such combinations will come. So in everything we have to apply means we need that energy to apply, which is where chanting comes. Otherwise, we'll become blank. And whenever your head is blank, again do chanting only. Mindless chanting. Just keep chanting. And after some time, you will come to one state, there some clarity will come. So if your head is blank, always chant. Okay? Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Smita. Thank you.
Bye. Abindu?
Yeah. Thank you, Smita. First and foremost, thank you. It is amazing to listen to you, Smita, talking about all these things. It is so practical and it's so helpful. Your words just keep coming back to me. In any situation, it is like, oh, this is what she said. So let's be like that. So for me, it is like that. Now, one more thing I would add to whatever you said, what I feel like. When I'll take the same example of Sudha's, like she said, when we get for 90, we will be happy. When we get lesser than that or something else, we will be unhappy. Finally, what I have accepted and what has come to me is like, finally, it is how do you want to feel about the situation? The situations are there. N number of situations are thrown in front of you. Finally, it is what you accept and what do you want to feel about this situation. The same situation can bring you happiness and sadness, means that is you are thinking about all the outcomes which may have negative things also. And if you want to think that every situation is going to give you happiness, so what may come, it will be happy.
Yes.
You can be happy in 40 also. You can be happy in 92 also. It's not that you will be happy only in 90.
Absolutely.
It is acceptance of what is sent to you or shown to you.
Yeah. I think what you were meaning to say is 90 does not really have meaning on its own, or is not having a happiness attached, a happiness value of happiness attached to it, because a person can perceive 90 to be less also. Let's say a very brilliant student might perceive 90 to be less, and she might be very unhappy also. Or a person who is probably not very studious or something, and if they get 90, they'll be very happy. So 90 itself does not have any meaning to itself. It is who is giving the meaning. It is the person who is perceiving it, who is giving the meaning to it.
Yes.
So hence it is when we get to surrender, then typically we get to a mindset to we get a mindset to go to that point where that perception becomes very clear, and we are in that vibrating in that higher state. Surrender is a skill that will take you to a higher state of vibration, and in that higher state, irrespective of what comes to you, you are going to feel good.
Yeah.
Hence we are saying accept all outcomes before only, because so we are to help you get to practice that surrender, you have to just go to that state of you have to practice like this. Then outcomes, any outcome will actually give you a very good feeling. That is what we are here to. And why are we surrendering? We are surrendering to that God who's controlling this whole game. We're just saying that, okay, I'm just a person who doesn't control anything. So I accept myself the way I am, because you made me who I am. And you want me to do some of these, you're giving me these experiences to show me who I am. So yeah, I accept who I am because you are trying to show me who I am. And then I'm just surrendering to all of the experiences that are going to come my way, because whether I like it or no, those experiences will come and I'll be used in ways that I have to be used anyway. So, chalo, take me. It's more like that.
And one more thing about life after death, where we are, where like we enter another womb. So it is in various walks of life, or whatever it is, various people who talk about all these things, they give different opinions. For example, in a soul's journey. So there it says like the after death, the soul goes into the astral planes. And there you have different levels of astral plane, every sphere, they go experience and they go on like that. So not that everybody goes into the astral plane. It doesn't say that everybody goes into the astral. It is like they go there, some are reborn immediately. So it is so different.
See,
So
what I'm saying is many of these
finally,
things,
where
right?
do we go to? Like what is the level of thinking where we will belief system? Like which is the belief system we will get attracted to, or what is it like that? In our Hindu thing, Garuda Puran, it goes like we go into all so much of sufferings, they say.
No, just come back to simple things. Who wants to know about all this?
What I have attracted?
No, your ego wants to know answers. It wants to feel safe in the future. It wants to know, I will not fear death, because I have got some information that I'll be okay after death also. So who wants to know all this information?
So
It is the
anything,
one who is not surrendered. It is the one who wants to feel protected and safe, who wants to feel safe. So even if any information come to you, how can you even prove that it is right? You can't prove. Unless you get to that point, you won't even experience that. We are talking about things that are beyond the mind. Mind
yes.
is in this body only. It will die. It will die with the body. So why does it, you just say, hey, why do you want to know about all these things which are beyond you? I'm not going to know about, I don't want to know, because there is so much that we are actually having to practice. If you have to practice acceptance, if you have to practice surrender in the current life where there is this current body, current mind, current intellect, there is so much of work to do. Why don't we just focus on what we have to do now in each, like God is keeping us busy with so many experiences that are coming every moment. We are getting triggers. Aren't we busy? Why do we have to even read all these things?
May I? I didn't choose, like, I didn't go and choose this book to read.
I understand. But what I'm saying
I'm
is,
telling,
when it comes to you,
it
what
just
is it
came.
triggering?
No, I'm not able
It's
to
a
understand.
POSC. The book is a POSC.
Yes.
So what is it triggering? A curiosity.
Huh.
Curiosity for answers. So then you ask yourself, it's like the answers are, just believe that, okay, it is like this, it is like this, I just leave it. Don't try to look for proof for others to also be able to tell that what you're actually thinking is true. Whatever comes to your mind, whatever understanding comes to your mind, have it at that moment and then leave it.
Okay.
Rather rest with whatever information you get and
Okay.
don't try to look for conclusions.
Okay.
Because whoever is giving you all of that information is still again in your reality, again a POSC. Another book will come to you, maybe it will give you more clarity because you have accepted the information in that book. Rather, okay, whatever came to me, maybe it is to lead me to the exit. Rather, it is probably helping me to clean myself. That's it. Enough.
That is a
Whatever
better
understanding you get, you stay with that. Don't
Okay.
keep digging more. Next,
Okay.
another book will come. So stay with the book. So even I think Patri ji had told this. Read the book and rather don't analyze the book. Read the book, take the book, content of the book, just go on to another book. Don't question, don't go too deep into many of these things, because whatever is you're supposed to get, you're subconsciously already getting. The transformation is already happening. Whatever the book did to you, it already did. For example, when I read Divine Design, I did not have the imagination also that I'm going to actually go and do a course, rather do a workshop on that. But when I actually did the workshop on that, I had no memory of me reading the book also. It was actually very vague. When I did the workshop, it was very vague. When I did the workshop, I thought I was very clear. That is why I'm doing the workshop. But when I was reading the book, I did not even remember that I've read many of these things. So like that, there are so many experiences that will come to us. So whatever the book has taught you, you don't have to go ask anybody any clarity. Whatever your mind has told you, that's enough. Whatever more is necessary for you, it did not come to you because you are not ready for that. Even if somebody tells you, you may not understand that, or you'll still have questions because you're trying to fit it in a box that you have created as of now. The box you have created, you're trying to fit all the answers that are coming to you inside the box. But maybe the answer that is coming to you is beyond that box. For that, you need to expand your consciousness. So when that consciousness is expanding, the related knowledge will actually open up from inside you only. It is like a flower. Only some petals have opened. For you to go to the inside most part of that, some more petals have to open. So trust that whatever has come to you, that's enough. When I'm ready for more will come to me. I don't have to go and ask anybody. I am God already. If you have to ask, and if you need to know, just ask within yourself. I want more clarity on this. Then that question will actually go and find an answer through a POSC and come to you automatically. Because questions also have a consciousness, because that is also God. Everything in cosmos is consciousness. So a question also has a consciousness. It has the nature to go find its partner, which is the answer, which is resonating with you. There are 1,000 different answers for each frequency. There are 1,000 questions for each frequency. And that matchmaking will happen based on what you are ready for.
This is helping. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So I won't dig into it. I'll just read that book. It
Yeah,
just came to me. It just came to me.
Yes.
As
yes.
Louis Hay's book
Books
just
will
came to
choose a
me.
person. Books choose a person. Like how
Yeah.
POSCs or POSCs come to you to trigger you. Like that, books is also a POSC. So they will come and trigger you Even if they are open-ended questions, let it be there with you only. You can ask that question within yourself. Answers will come to you. You just have to be patient for that answer. When we are impatient, we go and look around for answers from in our own reality, but we may not yet be satisfied with the answers that we get. You will be very satisfied when you are in that frequency, when the answers are ready for you. So just stay with the question. Of course, you can ask such kind of doubts here, but book kind of doubts, why did he do this? Why did he do that? That kind of doubts, you stay with that question, it will come to you automatically.
One more thing. Now, when you were like making me think why this book came to me or why it is like, maybe 3 years ago, my father passed away. So I was like, at that time, I didn't know anything of this. I didn't know you. I didn't know nothing much about all these things. So I was like thinking about him, missing him, and all those things were happening. And suddenly something triggered, and somewhere something came to me telling that we shouldn't be thinking about them. You have to let go of them. They are happy in their future wherever they are. If only we keep them thinking, and they will be coming back to us, and that they won't be happy in that life. So it just came to me like that. It's in some talks I keep listening. It just came to me like that, telling like that. Maybe that was still there in me. Maybe that's why this book has appeared. I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay, thank you, Smita. Thank you, everybody, for posting the questions. So it is all helping.
Yeah. Any other question, or I think we can close the call? Okay, thank you so much for taking your time and then coming here. I think, Pavitra, you had a question, no? You had raised your hand. I think, I don't know whether you
She
had
has put
any-
it in a chat, Smita. Pavitra has put it in a chat.
When I
Something
chant,
like-
closing my eyes, I am sometimes getting into an empty state and stop chanting. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It is perfectly okay. Just accept whatever comes to you, because you are not controlling all of these kinds of things. Sometimes I also sleep off. That also I'm accepting.
Smita, for me, chanting is only thank you.
Whatever, yeah, sure. Whatever connects you to God,
Yeah.
that is perfectly okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll just do the prayer. To the Supreme God, I thank you for your divine blessings. To my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones. We thank you for your great, great blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, be blessed. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Smita.
Bye.
Bless.